Dr. Adam Hartstone-Rose studies the bite force of carnivores.
Bite force is actually a combination of 3 factors. The first is the length of the jaws, and then the second factor is the amount of force that the muscles can actually put into closing the jaws. And the third factor is the placement of the teeth along those jaws. The weasel has a relatively short jaw on a relatively long skull. The jaw is about 50% of the length of the skull. And that means that it's able to more efficiently transmit the force into a higher bite force.
If an animal has a long jaw, the force it produces is lost over the distance it has to travel. When an animal has a short jaw, the force has less distance to travel and to decrease. The shorter the jaw, the greater the force. But the weasel also has another unique adaptation.
For its body size, the weasel has a really long skull, and that leaves a really large surface area for the attachment of one of the muscles that closes the jaw. And that means that it can produce a lot of bite force for such a little guy.
Bigger muscles or bigger springs have a huge impact on the damage a bite can do. The main muscle which closes the jaw is known as the temporal muscle. It travels from the top of the skull right down to the jaws themselves. But there's one final factor in the weasel's killer bite.
For such a small animal, it actually has really amazing teeth. So the canine tooth is really long and sharp and pointy, which means that the bite force that is transmitted into these killing teeth is transmitted very powerfully.
As a force disperses across a surface, the pressure at each individual point is shared around. Concentrate all that same force into a smaller area and the pressure becomes much greater. This is why the weasel's pointy teeth give them such an edge. All their muscle force is focused into a razor-sharp point.
Combining all 3 parts, the shorter jaws creating better leverage, the larger springs representing more powerful muscles, and the sharp teeth to really concentrate all of that force, this really creates the ultimate bite.
Adam's research now reveals that the weasel's bite, pound for pound, is stronger than a lion, a tiger, a hyena, or any of the bears.
If we were to take this weasel and scale it up to the body size of this huge tiger, then what we would find is that the skull would actually be 40% longer than the tiger's skull and 20% wider.
Their muscles would be much bigger and their teeth longer and sharper.
And so that would really make this essentially a super predator. Imagine what it would be like to be chased by one of these fearsome predators.
This amazing bite force is what makes weasels one of the most unparalleled predators on the planet.